The deadline has passed and the final total is in. The trustee in the Bernie Madoff case has filed hundreds of clawback lawsuits seeking more than $50 billion for the con man's victims. Irving Picard's targets include hundreds of banks, feeder funds, and investors. Joining us this morning is lawyer David Berg of the firm Berg Androphy, where he handles white-collar criminal and commercial cases. David was lead counsel for Deutsche Bank in the Enron class action suit. He is also author of The Trial Lawyer, What It Takes to Win. David, in just the past 3 weeks, Irving Picard has filed 60 lawsuits seeking more than $40 billion. Have you ever seen anything like it?
No, I haven't. I'd like to have seen a little piece of it, but no, I haven't seen anything like this.
How many of these cases are just a Hail Mary pass with seconds to go on the clock? Because many of them happen in just the last week alone.
You know, it's hard to tell because they're under seal, but in cases like this, it reminds me a lot of the Enron class action where suits were filed against everybody with a wallet. So some of these may be Hail Mary passes, but I can tell just from the not from the pleadings, can't see those, but from the reports that these are substantial lawsuits.
Should we assume that Picard tried to settle with everybody? Is it possible for him to have tried to settle with everybody?
I doubt it. I don't think there was enough time. I don't know if there were. And also, it's very difficult to settle without filing a lawsuit. Companies tend not to settle until they're staring down the gun barrel of a trial setting.
And now, does the fact, here's something that plays to your experience, does the fact that Picard was able to reach settlements with Union Bancaire, for example, and Santander, suggest to you that he has a legitimate shot at some of the other banks that he has sued, UBS, JP Morgan, Citigroup, HSBC among them, because when it comes to the dollar figure, they represent by far the biggest total?
It appears to me he does. You know, I was thinking this morning on the way over here, this is why we get our law licenses. He's doing a great deal of good by these lawsuits, and it looks to me as though he's got the ammunition. He spent 2 years studying, accumulating the facts, and this, under new standards that the Supreme Court has set, these are probably going to pass muster. I would bet they do. So
if you look, you're a fan then of Irving Picard's legal strategy. I was going to ask you a couple of questions. You know, how would you rate it, and has it played out, or does he have more cards yet to play?
Oh yeah, he has cards left to play. I don't know why these lawsuits are under file. If they come and if they're public, then they're going to create a great deal of harm for whomever's been sued. So that's one of the cards he's got to play. And another card that he's got to play is what we call in the law evidence. I mean, he's got evidence. It appears to me galore. I don't know if you read. Well, I'm sure you did. Read about Miss Cohn this weekend. The lady the Austrian
Sonia
banker.
Cohn, of course.
They call her a banker. We in the law call her a ganef. I don't know if you know that legal term.
I don't.
It means thief in Yiddish. It's just something my grandfather taught me. She actually, a friend of mine in Wall Street pointed out, she actually looks like Bernie Madoff, which is probably not why you had me on.
There's Sonia Cohn right there, and Irving Picard, who's going after her.
Anyway, I am a fan of what Mr. Picard's doing, only because this is. He's done it well, and also this is what, as I say, why we have law licenses.
You know, one of the things that struck me reading about these cases is this idea that in some of the suits, he's alleging that the banks perhaps knew about the Ponzi scheme, but he's also saying that they should have known or they failed to spot. How strong a case can you build on should have known?
That's actually a great question. My partner, Joel Androphy, has made a career out of keeping what are called willful blindness instructions out of lawsuits, because he saw, you know, if you're saying on the one hand that the banks knew about it, they were reckless, they knew what was going on, and at the same time they were willfully blind, you have a real inherent problem in the lawsuits. But he'll overcome them.
David, we'd love to have you back to talk about Bernie Madoff. Much more coming clearly in the Bernie Madoff case. And